I'm just going to come right out and say it. SMS verification and two factor authentication, for all intents and purposes, is a security risk nearly equivalent to having a PIN of 1234 or a password like password 1. It's just a bold faced liability. In modern times, SIM swapping is the big kahuna, the digital devil, the kind of hack you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. In the event that you need to protect yourself from a SIM swap, I've got you covered. But now you're wondering, what the heck is a SIM swap? Well, a SIM swap attack is when a hacker socially engineers your cell service provider into switching your cell service and phone number over to a SIM card that is in their control. This means that they receive all your phone calls, SMS, and a whole bunch more. For all intents and purposes, they become you to any service that uses your phone to identify you. This is very, very bad. And it often happens so fast in the middle of the night, so it's really hard to react effectively when it is happening. Once the hacker has your phone in their control, they use the standard SMS recovery options to get into your email. Then they use your email and any other SMS multi-factor authenticated accounts to get access to all sorts of things like your banks, online stores, and a whole bunch more. All along the way, they're changing passwords, they're locking you out of things, they might be deleting accounts. And if your security is not tight enough online, this could be catastrophic. Think catastrophic like bank accounts drained, social media taken over, locked out of all of your online store accounts, and that sort of thing. A simple Google search about SIM swaps will prove my point here. This is happening all over the place, and it can happen to anyone. So here's how to protect yourself from SIM swaps, all the way from preventing them altogether to minimizing the damage if you were to get hit with one. So first and foremost, how can we prevent SIM swaps in the first place? I will caveat this with saying there is no perfect defense, but here are the best practices. Number one, call your cell service provider and set up a 6 to 8 digit PIN that will be required to do anything to your account, including swapping your SIM. All providers will do this, so brave the customer service wait time and just do it. Make sure it's not your birthday, your birth year, your phone number, or anything else that's easily linked to you. And then for one layer of extra protection, have the associate mark down on your account that you want a SIM lock, that any SIM swaps must be done in store with a show of valid ID, so that you physically have to go somewhere. This may be an inconvenience for you if you ever do need to swap your SIM, but it could very well save you in the end. Now, the next thing is, do not share your phone number widely. This is one that I've struggled with and other people have struggled with. Just take it from me, don't share your phone number out all over the place. Take it out of your email signature, don't post it online, don't submit it to every online service that asks you for it. Once a SIM swap attacker targets you, the next step is to find your phone number. So don't make that process really, really easy. One great way to do this is to create a free Google Voice number to use for public-facing calls, web forms, and that sort of thing. So you are not exposing your real phone number, but you can still punch one in when required on a web form. Now, finally, don't make yourself a target for SIM swaps in the first place. And this is not guaranteed because you can't control everything about it. But if you make a lot of money, great, good for you. Don't post about your fat stack of cash and what bank you have. Hackers will take note and eventually you will be targeted. If you have a lot of crypto, also keep it quiet. No one has to know how much you're sitting on, and it can also make you a target. Rule of thumb, keep as much to yourself as you possibly can. Now, I will caveat all of these efforts with the simple fact that many advanced SIM swap hackers or attackers have insiders within the cell service provider businesses that can bypass your PIN, skip your request for in-store SIM swaps, and even simpler still, the SIM swapper can verbally convince the phone support agent to switch your service over to their SIM even with these protections in place. These are real problems too. So in order to minimize the damage of a SIM swap attack and to stop the hacker dead in his or her tracks if their swap is successful, here are some best practices that are equally important, if not more important than what we've already discussed. Let's dive right in. If you're using SMS two-factor authentication on any account for recovery, switch it to a hardware token or Google Authenticator. If that's not an option, delete the account. It sounds crazy, but seriously, get rid of it. SMS authentication or SMS two-factor authentication is terrible. Trust me on this one. Once someone gets one account, it can often lead to others, especially in regards to email. I cannot overstate the importance of protecting your email, especially Gmail, because if a hacker gets access to it, they now have access to your calendar, your photos, your Google Voice account, your cloud storage, and your emails themselves. Oh, and don't forget the hundreds of passwords that are probably stored in Google Password Manager. So here's how to secure your email first and foremost. Log into every Gmail account or other email account for that matter that you have and follow the following steps. A, you want to remove all backup emails and phone numbers. For Gmail, that's under myaccount.google.com. Go to the security tab and then ways we can verify it's you. Get rid of both of those things. Instead, enable two-factor authentication with the Google Authenticator app, or better yet, use a YubiKey hardware key and their subsequent Google Authenticator style app that uses the hardware key to authenticate your codes. Now, C, you want to handwrite your backup codes in pencil and store those in a safe place so you can recover accounts in the event that you lose your multi-factor authentication device or your physical YubiKey. These can be used to recover your account if you don't have your existing 2FA methods handy. And then D, never, ever add another phone or email as a backup again. That is a one-way ticket for a hacker to get into your email. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, you can use a separate non-cellular connected device like an old iPhone with no SIM card as your primary Google Authenticator device. So all it will be used for is to have that app there to connect it to Wi-Fi, get your one-time codes, punch them in, and then turn the phone back off. This way, your two-factor device is air-gapped from the rest of your devices and your primary phone. But this is something that's next level in security. Furthermore, and this is critical, I would recommend creating a unique email address for sensitive accounts like crypto exchanges, banks, and the like. You can go totally nuts by creating an individual email for each one of these accounts, but I think that's just fine to create one single email that has a complex, unique name that is solely used for managing these accounts. Do not send emails from it to anyone. Do not show it to anyone. Do not leave it logged in on your computer. It is a secret email. As far as anyone's concerned, you don't have it. This way, if one of your emails were to be taken over by an attacker, your most sensitive accounts are still safe and cannot be recovered from those emails. Next, you want to eliminate all unnecessary accounts and public information on the web. So go into your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your other profiles, and delete your work info, your birthday, your location information, and all that sort of thing. If your dog's name is your security question for your bank, please change it because we all know you have at least 40 Instagram posts about your dog. Who doesn't? This info can be used to socially engineer control of your identity because hackers can take advantage of the information they can readily find online to prove to someone, like a customer service agent, that they're you. This includes removing any identifying information from your cloud drives because cloud drives are never a guarantee in terms of security. Now, that means removing things like your tax returns, your credit statement PDFs, your utility bills from your Google Drive, iCloud, Dropbox, and etc., and to move them into an external storage location, which I will link below some cheap options for that I use very often. Next, you want to use unique passwords for each account that you have, and you want to use a password manager like Keeper, Dashlane, and etc. to store those passwords. Again, links below to some of my favorite password managers so you can check them out. Now, for bank accounts and crypto exchanges, make sure that you require Google Authenticator or hardware key verification for as many different account functions and actions as possible. That includes changing your personal info, changing your password, making transactions, and the like. If for some reason your account is breached, this can save you from the worst possible scenario of a drained account if you can block actions on the account using 2FA. Now, as always, folks, I will post a couple of awesome videos here that I think you'll really enjoy. And if you have the time to stick around, I would highly encourage you to do so. But of course, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, cheers.